Yes, sir. So, hi, sir. I'm Ashok Surya. So, thank you so much for giving us some valuable time regarding Ram Setu discussion.
Thank
And
you. Thank you.
hello to our viewers as well. I'm Ashok here as usual. We have Ram Setu director Abhishek Sharma with us. Vanakkam, sir. Namaste.
Welcome. Namaste.
So, what is the idea behind taking Ram Setu? We know that you like doing fiction-related subjects on a thing like from Bin Laden to the nuclear-related subjects to now Ram Setu. So, what is the basic motto or idea behind taking up Ram Setu?
See, basically, the idea is that the whole the concept of Ramayana, or Mahabharata for that matter, there is a certain narrative that keeps pushing to us that it's mythology or epic,
Yeah.
some sort of storytelling. But the thing is that it is our history, it is our heritage and our culture. And I wanted to basically look at the subject from a historical and scientific point of view and converge it with the spiritual and the religious point of view. Because it's very important that, we in some ways reclaim our roots, our culture and heritage, especially in today's time when the newer generation is actually looking back, for inspiration. So the idea was to look at this, and I think this was a golden opportunity because the whole Ram Setu as a structure is one of the very few places from an archaeological point of view where you still have scientific evidence of Prabhu Shri Ram. So it was very important, that the story is told. And somehow I don't understand why many stories are not told. Maybe I am just lucky, or it is God's wish upon me, Lord Ram's wish. Because even in Parmanu, during that time, I was, I was wondering why nobody made the film on the subject. Especially and similarly, Ram Setu is such an important part of our culture heritage, that I don't know why nobody touched this subject. In fact, I could not find many documentaries on the subject. So the idea was to basically use this opportunity to, in a way, connect today's generation and people who don't know much about our heritage or Ram Setu, connect them, through the scientific and historical facts, and then take them into this journey, which is for me, it's a spiritual adventure.
Well, sir, that's nice to hear. What was the initial or the exact thought process regarding Ram Setu? So, how was it writing the screenplay? Because you are going to include fiction as well into it, your own thoughts or something to spice it up for the audience. So, what was the idea or what thought process was mainly carried forward while you were writing the screenplay for that?
Whenever I'm looking at the subjects which are based on reality, like Ram Setu, the idea is that the concept and the core should be truth and facts based, but the characters are fictional so that you can take the journey in a much more liberal way, in a much more swift way. Because you with fictional characters, you can see it from a very objective point of view. Because what
True.
happens is that in a factual circumstance, if the character is also based on real characters, then the whole point of view becomes very subjective. And what we have done is that, in a very, I think, in a nice way, we have seen the subject from as, radical point of view as possible, because my main character is an atheist. He does not believe in God. So when you see it from such a drastic point of view, and then you show it from his objective point of view, the facts, which are shown in Ram Setu, and then how his change of heart happens, because the facts cannot be ignored, and he's a very scientific person, a very fact based person, and how that journey takes him into belief and into understanding the history is what was important, and thus we needed fictional character. But I think it was very ably played by Akshay sir, and I think the way audience is reacting, the day one just finished yesterday, and we had great reactions coming all over India. So I think it is somewhere it is connecting with the audience.
Sure. And the idea behind showing Afghanistan and Pakistan and that kind of an intro where we get to see some kind of a cordial relationship with the Afghans and the Pakistanis and the reporter, the journalist interaction as well. How was that? What was the thought behind that?
See, I'll tell you, I have a very basic theory. It might be radical sounding, but I believe in it. that before there was this border of India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, or the borders of modern day religions, we were all one. As human beings, cultural heritage has been similar. The Buddha statues, Lord Buddha statues in Bamia were as much as ours, as Afghanistan's. So I'm saying that, so in a way, that destruction was not aimed at any religion per se. This was a cultural destruction, and that's why the
Okay.
opening scene is about the restoration of Bamia Buddhas, and also finding this treasure trove which you are talking about, which he says, the character says that this, even if Pakistan and Afghanistan today are Islamic countries, but cultural heritage is theirs too. And you cannot ignore the same culture that we all come from. And Sanatan Dharma, in any case, has been one of the most historical belief systems. I would not even use the word religion because it somewhere, kind of limits it. I think we are one of the oldest belief systems, and it is much more, inclusive than saying that, these are different countries with borders. So I think somewhere the cultural heritage is similar, and that's what I think today the world needs to understand. It's not that Ram Setu is about one religion or one belief system. It is about protecting our history. 7,000 years old history is something that is, it's one of the oldest civilizations, one of the oldest cultures, and we must respect that, and we must all enjoy that. Ram Setu is not just for one person; it is for the whole world to see what kind of engineering marvel feat was achieved during that time. So I think it has to be a broader point of view. And yes, somewhere we need to connect, with our Sanatan Sanskriti, with our, with our heritage, with our culture, and also tell the world about it, so the world understands our history, which was to a certain extent, I think, to a very broad extent, damaged by the Britishers when they ruled us for 200 years.
Well, that's a lot of news for us, and it is also interesting to know your views about showing another side of a relationship with Pakistan or Afghanistan, for that matter, and the treasure as well. And the specific character name Aryan, was there any specific thought process going on in naming him as Aryan? Because it has another connectivity with theories like Aryans and Dravidians and stuff like that. So, any thoughts on that?
Not really. The idea was just, to give this character a dimension, which is basically. I'll be honest with you. When I wrote the first draft, I was starting with the Indus Valley. So the whole idea of Indus Valley being called as the whole Aryan theory there, and considering that my character, the main character, is somewhat in the beginning is slightly more, atheist, and he does not believe in, God. I just thought it will be just an interesting Easter egg there to name him Aryan, and then take this journey towards him actually understanding the meanings. It's not about any divide between Aryans and Dravidians. That theory, in any case, as we all know now, falls flat. There was never an Aryan invasion. It was always, we are an ancient culture which is rooted here, and like we all know that now it is proven, in fact, that the Tamil language is the oldest language in the world. So this whole idea that somebody came from outside, I think in India we like to see our history from outsiders' point of view for some reason. Maybe this is a colonial mindset of 200 years. We need to understand, and I'm not saying it in a pompous way, but I think we need to be proud of our culture and heritage, where we come from. So yeah, it was more of a Easter egg naming him that way. There was nothing much more broader meaning, in that. And also, Aryan is a very famous name, as you all, it. It's a
Yes.
very famous Hindu name used up here.
Great. And to add a little more to it, how was it, keeping an atheist character on mind and using words like Hinduism, religion, Ram, Lord Ram, Prabhu Ram, and everything, all those things, do you ever have a thought like maybe you might invite criticism or some negativity around that?
So I think if you see it in context, you will not. And that is why if you see our trailer and our material was very careful about it, that people see it in context. Now, when you're trying to, I think it is a very good arc when you're trying to show the existence of Prabhu Sri Ram and our history from a non-believer's point of view, and you change his mindset. And this non-believer is, mind you, not an easy mind. He is a scientific mind who is just after truth. So when he sees it, and what we have shown, it's almost everything is there. They're facts. If you go to Sri Lanka, you will find tourist guides showing you these places like the Ravana cave. And in fact, now last year or last to last year, Sri Lankan government was also trying to do Ramayana tourism, in Sri Lanka. They have those things
Okay.
out there because not much exploration has happened in Sri Lanka. So somewhere, to see all this from this person's point of view, to see scientific evidence from this person's point of view, and then bring a change inside him, so much so that by the end of the film, he is the advocate of Lord Ram. I think that's a great change, and that's why, in context, I think audience is enjoying it even more. Because when your protagonist mindset changes in a very objective way, I think that's where the storytelling works. That's where it's a victory for the narrative.
And one more question regarding the characterization of Mr. Nasir. What was the thought process going on while you were writing about the specific character of Mr. Nasir?
Well, we wanted a very strong character for Indrakant's character. And Nasser sir, actually, when we were writing, both Akshay sir and me both had him in mind. In fact, I'll be very honest with you, it was not that, that this character was in our mindset from a particular region. I had written this character as he could have been from Uttar Pradesh, could have been from Tamil Nadu, it could be from any character, any place. Yes, because the Setu Samudram project, was based in Rameshwaram, so it was logically seeming that we set it up in Rameshwaram. But when we wrote this character, we were looking for this strong persona for the villain. And this villain is also not your usual Bollywood villain. He's somebody who exists. He's somebody who's a capitalist. Basically, he is all about money and he's a shrewd businessman. He's a powerful person. So today, to look into actors who can, play this kind of a character, we both thought that Nasser sir was the best person to, play it. He has great intensity in his eyes. His voice is, it has a heavy bass. He has great, emotional landscape when he performs. So I think that's where we went with, and we are really glad because his performance is brilliant.
Great. And was there any inspiration for writing specifically about this specific character? Because the problem to demolish or to use a travel path across or in the way of Ram Setu has been years, since long years. So any inspirations for that? Like specifically take up specific character and write on that or anything? Or is just fictional as usual?
See, the character is of course fictional, but a lot of things happened during that time. There were different parties who were interested in Setu Samudram project, so he's an amalgamation. But yes, he's fictional in terms of characterization, but his intentions are not fictional. That happened.
Okay.
We all know it. That happened.
So great. That's very conscious in saying that as well. And to quickly jump into the background score, when the first the Aryan character is going inside the water and is going to meet the bridge, we get to hear a lot of Shiva-based background score for a bridge that is being built by Lord Ram. Was there any message out of that, or you wanted to convey anything specifically from that?
Of course, because if you see Valmiki ji's Ramayana, Prabhu Sri Ram basically prayed, worshipped Lord Shiva before getting onto this journey from Rameshwaram. Uh, so there is a connect, basically, because somewhere Mahadev is Swambhu. We all know Om Namah Shiva is the first chant. It's the creation. Om is the word of creation. So somewhere that was a very conscious decision to use Om Namah Shivaya, or rather than making it a very Western composition. We wanted it to be rooted, and because Shri Ram himself, remembered Lord Shiva during that time. I think that this was a perfect tribute, according to me. And Krishna Das ji sang it beautifully, beautifully.
Great. And going on core into it, at one stage we have to go into saying that we have to prove Ravana's existence in order to make it everything sound real and it is man-made. So, what was your thought process going on? You have to prove Ravana's existence in order to prove Ram was there. How was it?
No, so it's not that, if you look at it from this character's point of view, he's stuck. He cannot come back to Ram Setu or India. He is in Sri Lanka. But what he realizes very soon is that there are a lot of archaeological evidences which one can find in Lanka. And his wife says that, but in Lanka, what you will find is Ravana's Lanka. But if you can, basically, it's more about equating that with what Valmiki ji wrote in Ramayana. If you can get archaeological evidences which kind of converge with the literary evidences, then you can prove that whatever Valmiki ji wrote was actually tathya or praman, or fact based, and that's where he goes into this journey. And I think it's a nice juxtaposition of setting out to discover or find Ravana's Lanka, to find out the truth about the connection between Ram Setu and Ramayana. And I think somewhere audience is appreciating that. It is not about proving Ravan to prove Lord Ram. It is more about finding some archaeological evidence which for this character stands in the court of law. Because unfortunately, it's a 7,000 years old history which archaeological evidence is very difficult to find. In today's time, we know that there are many cultures in the world which have disappeared. There's no trace, which were much later. This is 7,000 years old, and maybe only in Sri Lanka today we do find some places, which can be archaeologically proven. In India, I think the only place is Ram Setu, which is 7,000 years old, and which is an archaeological evidence. And today we all know, that it was man-made and it was built by Sri Ram.
Okay, and again, jumping back to the writing part of it, was there any idea of being secular or neutral when it comes to proving or preserving the Ram Setu project? Like, so there's even a sentence saying that there is Adam Bridge being believed by the other religions or the other religions as well. So we wanted to preserve it as a national property rather than limiting it to a specific religion. Was there any conscious thought process going on to that?
See, like I said initially, that this is our ancient history and it belongs to everybody. And like the character says, that even in Indonesia, which is a Muslim country, they believe in the history of Lord Ram. And so I think it is not just about being secular. This is about being, I think, practical, that Lord Ram belongs to everybody. And we just need to open our eyes to our history and our culture, our civilization. Spirituality is a very subjective thing. It is a very personal thing. But history is not. History belongs to everybody. That's the truth. And somewhere the memories of that history are still embedded in geography, which is what we call the archaeological sites. It's there for everybody to see. Now, you can name it anything, like when the Britishers came, like we said in the film, James Rennell, the first Surveyor General of East India Company, named it Adams Bridge. For what reason? Only he knows. But you can change the name, you can't change the character of the bridge. You cannot change the history. It's there. And someday, even if you are in denial, you will be accepting it. And I think it is not about Hinduism, it is about Sanatan Sanskriti, which is wide, which is giving, which is ancient. And we believe in it. And that is why we can feel it in a way that nobody can. If you see in the film, I will not give too much spoiler, but my character is an atheist. He says, I don't believe in anything that cannot be proven. And if you've seen the film, in the end, he has to believe in something that he cannot prove. That feeling he cannot prove. Have you seen the film?
Yes.
So I'm talking about the final climax. So what he feels, he cannot prove. So in a way, the film is answering that theme, that No, you cannot say that I don't believe in something that cannot be proven. There are many things in life, including the spiritual belief, which you cannot prove, maybe because it is beyond our imagination, beyond our comprehension. But you can feel it, and that is what Sanatan Sanskriti teaches us. That is what this film is trying to say. And I hope that people, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, enjoy the film and understand the message of the film. This is not a divisive film. This is a very inclusive film. This is a film which is just trying to make every Indian proud about their culture, their heritage. Look at what we achieved 7,000 years back as an engineering marvel. It is about all that. It's a very positive film, and that's what we are seeing in the theaters. That's why the audience is cheering. That's why the audience is feeling it, because it's a positive energy. And that's the intent with which we made this film.
Great, sir. And the political pressure that you received, like getting notice from Dr. Swami, sir, and a lot of things that happened. Was there any reactions from him after the movie got released, or after if he had watched the movie? So any words on that?
See, I can't comment on it because I think that is a completely a producers and whatever is happening between them. But I'm sure that whoever watches this film will understand the intent, and I think there will be no controversy. I think this is a film made with right intentions for everybody to watch and enjoy, and not just here in Mumbai or Delhi, even in Tamil Nadu, in Hyderabad, in all these in cities and states all over India and maybe beyond. We really want to reach out to the world with this film, because it's a very clean family film made with right intentions, and I'm very sure that whoever is watching it is finding it to be also soul stirring. It has something which is like we have the rasa theory in Natya Shastra. So you have Adbhut Ras somewhere, in the film, which I think is very rare in our cinema. So somewhere I think it will connect with the audience, and they will feel that they will understand it.
Great. And specific reasons for the courtroom disclaimer. Maybe any suggestions from the censor board, or was it a conscious decision from the team?
No, I mean the board was the certification board was very nice to us. They understood the intent. Like I said, if you make the film with the right intention, then everybody appreciates it. There were no cuts given, and I think it was a right idea and right suggestion to put the disclaimer, so that like I said, we do not intend to infringe upon anything. We are not trying to stir up a controversy. Yes, our characters are fictional, and so the Supreme Court that we are showing is not the real honorable Supreme Court. It's in our fictional world. It's in our universe. So it's important in a country like ours, which is a white country with a very diverse population and demographics, to put a disclaimer there so that people see it in the right context and understand the right intent, rather than seeing it from a certain point of view and getting into some sort of a unwanted, undue controversy. So I think it was a right decision, and I think it works in the favor of the film, because when you're watching it in context, I think it is much more impactful.
Okay, sir. And we've been working with Mr. Akshay, sir, for a second time, in fact, a full-fledged movie. And is there any planned sequels? Like there are other archaeological things that is happening in the country as well, like Ayodhya or Mathura or stuff. So any sequels plans? Any possibilities?